everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in this episode it's going to be a little bit of a different video. We do a lot of videos on this channel and it is for educational purposes, but I thought what would actually make quite a good interesting video is to give you a little bit of a look into the, not the other side, but a different perspective of what it takes to become a medium. We do loads of videos on this channel to help you become a medium, but what's it actually like? Because there's going to be a lot of you who want to be a medium, and if you knew the truth, you probably wouldn't even embark on the journey. That's not to say mediumship is bad in any way, shape or form, but hopefully by the end of this video you're going to see some of the fun experiences, some of the grim experiences, and we're just going to have a little bit of an overhaul on it. I'd love to know some of your comments below if you have had any of the things mentioned that I mentioned happen in your world. Also, do you want to become a medium? If you do want to be a medium, then make no mistake, my friend, you have found this channel for a reason. One thing that I will say to each and every one of you, before you start your mediumship journey, think of it as being serious. Now there's a lot of you going, oh well, of course I'm going to think of it as being serious. But no, it's not really anything that can be taken lightly in any sort of sense of a human being. Mediumship not only is completely out of your control, it becomes very frustrating and very quick, because if you are wanting to embark on the mediumship journey as a human being, you want it to work perfectly and flawlessly first time. If you're somebody like me, of course, 100%, I'm one of the most impatient people that you'll ever meet on this planet. That's why I think the spirit worlds, I always say this and they say well, I'm not, but I'll always say I'm probably one of the worst students that they'll ever have. The reason being is I need evidence. I don't accept anything less. When the spirit world taught me to first do tarot, I laughed. I was like, I'm not doing tarot. What a load of nonsense. Then I done it and I was like, wow, this is powerful, man. This is absolutely great. They told us to get a crystal ball. I laughed. Then I looked into a crystal ball and I seen what was absolutely fascinating, which blew my mind. And it's like pendulums. It's like every part of mediumship is there to blow your mind. The point that I'm trying to make with this is you as an individual have to understand and appreciate coming into mediumship. Be very mindful what your end goal is, because your end goal that you start with is not going to be the end goal that you have. You will evolve as a person. The spirit world, you will get into your comfort zone and you'll think, right, I know everything I need to know now. And then something will blow your socks off and you'll be like, now I need to learn about this. It's very, so for example, to any of you who don't know where I'm going with this analogy is, think of it like starting a new job. Your first day on that job and you go through the motions of the job. You know, maybe it's you're packing boxes. So we're packing boxes. There you go. We're doing little dances on camera. We're packing boxes. The next day, we know there's a little bit more to us. And we hear somebody in the canteen talking about, and the canteen is the food hall, depending on what country you're watching this from. We hear somebody talking about a new job opportunity. And we think, that's for us. This is the same with the spirit world. However, what will happen is the spirit world will drip feed you little bits of information. For example, you may start as a medium and all you might be interested in the first instance is just doing mediumship readings. And if that's all you're interested in, fair enough. That's not a problem. However, there is going to be 99.9% of you who start in mediumship will then go to trans-channeling. You might go to the paranormal side of things. Remember, everything that we do isn't about us. It's about helping mankind understand that life goes on after. This isn't the end. What we are going through now in the sensory plane is just part of our being. It isn't the end. And by being a medium, it is your job, your responsibility to ensure that mankind understand this. A lot of mankind, don't get us wrong, a lot of mankind won't ever understand this. I mean, if you are wanting to become a medium, you are a strange breed, just like of myself. Whilst we are all human beings, we aren't exactly the normal meta, are we? I've seen the spirit world from the age of 6, and please understand when I say that in jest. I'm not saying that you are. I don't want you to pick up on that the wrong way. But listen, if if you were to look up the definition of normal, I would be far from that spectrum. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I see dead people on a daily basis from the age of 6. And well, this is going to be a lot of people who will go, oh, well, this is all rationally explained because I come from a scientific background and science tells me, listen, I'm not interested in science. I'm interested in the now, the present. Science is good for mankind. It massages mankind's ego to think they have control in their worlds. Great, continue with science. It's got its good things. It's got its 99.9% of the time. Everything that you learn, everything that mankind learns, is given to you by the spirit world. That's why there's a lot of movies about spirits. There's a lot of different, depictions of the spirit world on the materialistic plane because they do play a major influence in what happens on this planet. When I say influence, I don't mean in the sense of accommodating human vessels and telling them what to do in keeping mankind like puppets. There's a video on this channel dedicated to that, so I'm not going to go into a rant about it. But there is a lot of people who have this notion that spirits are evil and they're there to manipulate you. Listen, I don't care what you think about me. My work speaks for itself. But I can tell you categorically 100%, whether you like me or not, spirits are not evil. Stop comparing the energy realm to the materialistic plane that you live. Remember, into any of you who haven't got time to go and watch the other video, think of it like this. I'll give you a quick little flash lesson in this. What is it that makes a human evil? What is it that makes any human being on this planet evil? It is the conditioning of the mind. It is the mind that gives them the freedom to go and do whatever they want. The right to free will. They can go and do whatever you like in this. As you accommodate this vessel, you can do whatever you want. Now, we know that when we go to heaven, there's no such thing as heaven, it's energy, but we'll say heaven because I know in brackets a lot of people will refer to energy as heaven. When we go back to heaven, we don't take the ugly humanistic traits of mankind back with us. Why, you might ask? Well, because it does not belong in the energy realm. We don't have any room for that. That's why we come to this plane. We come to this plane to exist and to grow spiritually as individuals. We go through the trials and tribulation of life so that we can overcome the hurdles and we can take it back to energy. There's going to be a lot of you will asking, well, what's the point in being here? Now, it's going to be very different for each and every person on this planet. We all have very different roles when we come back to planet Earth. Each and every one of you, I can guarantee, have been here before, past life regression. I know I've been on this planet 7 times before. I've been a police officer, I've been a solicitor, I've been many different things. And there's going to be a lot of you going, oh, well, that gives you a head start in life, Jordan. No, it doesn't. Put it this way, to each and every one of you who think that knowing your past lives is going to somehow benefit you in this life, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip. Think of it like this. From the start of your life to where you are currently, think of all the mental pain, the suffering, the anguish, the turmoil that you have been through. Just to whatever age you are now, watching this video. Now, magnify that by however many lives you have. This is why I actively encourage no one to go looking for their past lives. You are living in the present for a reason. You are going through this experience for a reason. To learn, to overcome the hurdles that you haven't overcome in your past lives. Why go looking? And before I hate this. Spirit are laughing at this. You do not bring past life trauma into this world. I don't care who's told you that. I don't care what. Listen, I don't read mankind's literature. However, I do hear some of the ludicrous notions. When you come to this planet, you come as a pure soul. You are raw in your essence. However, mankind, through situational circumstances, will sculpt you into being. You don't come here evil. there's a lot of people who are going to disagree, but I'm not here to have an open debate. I'm here to tell it how it is from the spirit world. I don't read mankind's literature. I don't need to. I have a direct link to the spirit world, which I can help each and every one of you to gain. You will realize how long mankind have been lied to. And one of the reasons why mankind lied to one another is to suppress and to hold each other back. The spirit world want nothing more than to help and guide and aid you along your divine spiritual path. But along that way, sometimes mankind's notions and theories get into the mix. We went on a little bit of a steered path. So spirit, I want us to come back on the track now. How would you know if you wanted to become a medium if you had what it takes? That's a very good question, actually, Spirit. A lot of you are going to be very familiar with the terminology of mediumship. And if you haven't, maybe you've just stumbled across this video. Fun fact, if you have stumbled across the video, there's a reason why your spirit team and your guides wanted you to watch this video. Very, very simple. If you are at this part of the video, remember to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. A lot of people will go through their life journey and experience different emotions, different feelings that they can't put their finger on. They will, for example, have friends that are physically sick, and the friend might have not even told them about the sickness, yet they knew they were sick. This is claircognizance, also clairsentience, clairempathy. There's many different clair senses that the human body retains. Now, depending on which faith you come from, there are many different. Let's keep it basic, let's keep it simple. Yeah, there are many different clair senses. These clair senses are an extension of your nervous system, so to speak. For example, if you think of how my fingers are impeding out of my auric field, the auric field is a low frequency energy which is emitted from the beating heart. If you think of a little circle around me, just follow the contours of the light there. The light is my aura. Contained within that aura, we have a spider web-like of fingers coming out. This is what is going to be picking up on energy. A lot of you may have, so if you are using clairempathy, you are going to be reaching, using them tentacles, so to speak, to feel for people's energy. If you are working in a psychic reading, this is how you are gaining information from an individual in front of you. You are plucking information from their auric field. A good psychic can tell you exactly what you've done that day, what you've got coming up later in the day. But remember, a psychic isn't a medium. And a lot of people have this complete, and to be fair, I understand and appreciate where this notion comes from. Because whilst a psychic will use clair abilities as a medium will, you aren't the same. You couldn't be further apart in terms of where you get your information from. A psychic is going to pluck from the individual's auric field. A medium is going to go externally to get the information from energy. This is why you'll see a lot of psychics who claim to be mediums, and when you start watching their work, and this is no offense to any of you, but as soon as you start watching the work, you're like, yeah, that's not mediumship. I don't know what the hell that was, and it certainly wasn't mediumship. And that's not to suppress people or to put people down, but this is the harsh reality that we are living in at this moment in time. We have so many diluted understandings, so many misunderstandings that form the foundations of people's practices. And this is why we are trying to keep things simple to help people to understand that. Some of the practices that are out there currently at this moment in time. Now, I'll let my work speak for itself. I really don't need to come on any camera and to tell you how good I am. I couldn't care less. I'm not here for that. I really don't need to pick up my own ego. I've done thousands of readings. I've helped thousands of people connect with the spirit world. For any of me personal readings, you know, I'm booked for the next 3 months. I've always got 3 months booked. You know, I don't have a day goes by where I can just do loads of readings. I'm always fully booked. That should tell you something. That should actually say, well, actually, hang on a minute. I can't get readings with him for the next 3 months. That must mean there's a demand there. If there's a demand and I don't have anyone who's ever had a bad reading or ever had a reading that they don't understand from, that should also form part of the evidence that we are talking about here. Each and every one of you have a very difficult decision to make. What do you want to be? Do you want to be a medium? Great. What sort of medium are you going to be? Are you going to be a medium who likes to help people? Helping people's great. Do you want to be a medium who wants to just look good in front of other people? Then fair enough. You want to be egotistical, you driven, then you let that be the burning fire within your little desire to become a medium. Spirit world will still work with you, even if you. I've seen some of the most egotistical people in the spirit world. The reason why the spirit world will allow these people to still work for them is what you've got to remember is the niche that we are talking about, talking to dead people. It's not widely accepted. The spirit world need each and every person they can to work with them. However, when you do have egotistical people, the spirit world won't back them up fully. They'll tell them bits of information, but the problem that you've got to understand is it's not the spirit world's job to live the person's life. The person, as well as working alongside of the spirit world, has to fulfill their own desires, wants and needs. They have to learn for themselves. That being said, if the person has issues with ego, then they need to address that. Just like if you believe that you're going to come into mediumship and you're going to have ego issues, it's nothing to frown upon. Believe me when I say this. I had an ego. Everyone on this planet has an ego. But by acknowledging your ego at the very beginning of your development, you can refine yourself as an individual so that you can work hand in hand with the spirit world on a more personal basis. This is one thing that you all need to fully appreciate. A lot of you may say that you don't have egos. A lot of you may say, well, actually, no, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But that's simply the way it is. The next thing that we're going to come to is what can you expect to see as a medium? I don't want to scare any of you, and I certainly don't want to lie either. So how we're going to do this? I'm going to have a drink first, actually. This is going to get quite I can already feel the energy building. What's it like to be a medium? Being a medium not just completes you, it gives you a greater purpose. For somebody like myself, and maybe it's for a lot of you, you might be searching for a belongingness or just something to fill that missing piece of the puzzle. Mediumship is that. Mediumship is tenfold that. What you've got to remember with mediumship is it can be your best friend and your worst enemy. Mediumship is a lonely walk. It can be very frustrating, very daunting. But it can also be life-changing. It can also be some of the happiest moments and happiest memories that you'll ever have. For example, doing readings. First of all, I heard this mad theory the other week. Somebody said that mediums can't read for themselves and that's something to do with light workers. First of all, terminology light workers, get rid of it. Stop trying to belong. You are unique. You don't need to fit in with these people. I want each and every one of you who watch my videos to understand you are not a light worker. You are a human being using your extrasensory perceptions to work alongside of the spirit world. Don't conform. Don't say, oh, I'm a light worker, or love and light. Oh, it really grates on us. Like, seriously, do you know what it feels like to me when somebody says love and light? It's like somebody when they get their hands on a chalkboard and when they claw down it, and it's like sends that, oh, because do you know why it is? It really infuriates us because I see part of my role to each and every one of you is to not just bring you out of your shell, but to make you a strong individual, ready to take on the world. And there's a lot of you thinking, well, why do we need to take on the world? Coming back to the lonely part of mediumship, your circles are going to change. Your friends are going to change. Some of your best friends are probably going to laugh at you. They're probably not even going to believe the path that you want to choose. This is going to cause a conflict. This is going to cause an inner dilemma with yourself because all of these people that you have around you no longer want what is best for you. The spirit world will and do move people away from you, but then they will also introduce new people into your world. Now, these people could be challenges or they could be there to help you. And there's going to be a lot of you wondering, well, actually, Jordan, if the spirit world are so great, why would they want to give us a challenge? Remember, This is about your personal development and growth as much as working with the spirit world. Working with the spirit world is like a side hustle, so to speak. Whilst it's a lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle choice, it's from the spirit world's perspective, it's kind of a sideline quest, a sideline mission for yourself. Whilst for you, it may be, like for me, it's a lifestyle choice. It's something I've got to do. I love doing it. But for the spirit world, you are just another person. You are literally just another soul who is trying to help. This is something that you need to be mindful for when you come into mediumship. Ensuring that you have your priorities right, I would say. Priorities is probably a bit of a bold statement, but I would say commitments. If you want to become a medium, you have to ensure that your commitments are in place. You can't do this half-heartedly. You can't just do this. Yeah, we could argue and say, listen, you could do this once a week. At the beginning, I would recommend each and every one of you, if you are wanting to become a medium, and if you're not put off by the end of this video, then to dedicate one night a week, even if it's just in 30 minutes of your time. This shows the spirit world that you are actually putting time in. You are putting time aside. Now, coming back to what happens in a mediumship reading. Mediumship readings are going to be, if they are done correctly, they should be give clarity, direction, and purpose. The spirit will give me those 3 words, and these are exactly what you should be bringing to the table. You should not be aiming for anything less. Anything less than that is not acceptable. I don't accept it. And if there's a lot of you who might be mediums now and you're watching this and you're going, well, that's a bit harsh, Dawn. No, you've got to set your expectations high. You are there delivering a service for the spirit world. If you are allowing yourself to become subpar to the message, then don't deliver the message. Just don't do it. Let other people do it. People who want to do the best. This is part of the problem, because we have so many different notions and theories of how the message should be delivered. For example, I'm going to tell you how I deliver messages. With clarity, direction, purpose. To the point. No BS. We don't mess around. If you need told off, you will be told off. If you need a little bit of a, it's a little bit more nurturing. Fun fact, I work with archangels. So I know when Asgard, again, you won't find Asgard in any of mankind's literature. Asgard comes through, straight away the energy changes. It's a very, very masculine energy. This individual is now getting an absolute bollocking. I cringe the second that Asgard comes through. I know that this person is about to cry, and it's not in a good sense. However, on the opposite side, when Raphael comes through, and to those of you who believe that Raphael is male, Raphael comes to me in a feminine energy. Fun fact, archangels don't have male or female sex. Male and females are a species on this planet to reproduce. We have reproductive organs. And this is to keep the species alive. You don't have that in energy. You don't have that in energy. So it's one of those things where they're like, oh, you've got it wrong, Jordan. You don't know what you're talking. No, you've got it wrong. You're listening to mankind. Instead of listening to your own intuition and your own teams, you've got it wrong, not me. I can prove that the spirit world are with me on every video. There's not a video that goes by where you won't see spirits, orbs, or, go and watch any one of my videos. What's it like delivering a message? So we've went into a little bit of it there, of how I know whether the reading's going to go good or bad. But remember, in a reading, you are going to know, basically be told what you need to know, not what you want to know. A lot of people have got caveats where they demand, they want to know this, they want answers for this. The spirit world will tell you what you need to know, not what you want to know. And a lot of you might be a little bit miffed by that, but remember, the premise, there is no demands from mankind. Mankind as a species are subpar to the energy. Not just the spirit world, but to the realms. The realms are very, very different to the spirit world. And whilst a lot of you might not like me calling you subpar to the spirit world, you have to understand that that is your ego. We've just mentioned ego earlier on. You don't like me saying that because your ego is telling you you're better than energy. And this is something that you need to address. If you are wanting that working relationship with the energy, you need to understand that, yes, when we work with the spirit world, we are part of the parcel. We are kind of obviously the conduit to the message, and we are delivering the messages for them. So it's a unionship. But in no way, shape, or form think that mankind are the ones who are demanding things. We aren't there to demand answers. We aren't there. We are simply there to just relay whatever messages the spirit world want to speak. Readings. I've been in readings where effectively when you go into the reading and you know how to channel energy, because that's effectively what I do. I channel energy. To be honest with you, I'm a jack of all trades. I seriously am. It's very hard for me to do these videos because to just speak on behalf of a medium, like literally the stuff that I do is far beyond just mediumship. Like seriously, I mean, I work with the realms, for Christ's sake, and I can prove it on a daily basis. The realms teaching every one of you, it'd be what you call demons. Now, whilst there's a lot of you going at this moment of time throwing holy water, first of all, none of that stuff works. That's just man-made notions and theories to try and get you to spend money. One thing I will say is people's ignorance to what they are. Demons aren't there to harm any of you. They don't. It's not like the way that Hollywood have depicted them. You've got to remember that Hollywood makes movies to entertain. They couldn't make a movie to entertain if it wasn't entertaining. Do you get what I'm saying with this? They've got to. Each and every one of you, before you say, well, you've watched the Paranormal Activity, you've seen The Conjuring, you've seen the Exorcism movies. Listen, the spirit world can't possess you. They don't possess you. They've got no need to. Yes, they come into your body, but they aren't interested in you as a person. They don't need to be interested in you as a person. They can articulate the messages that they need. Now, the realms, yes, the realms are very playful, so if there's any of you who are wanting to work alongside of them, know this. It is very different to spirit energy. Very different. But there's nothing evil there. We've already went over this. People assume that the energy realms are going to be like our world. What would be the point of even coming to this planet if it was the same as our world? We'd still be in our world. We wouldn't need the vessel. We wouldn't need to come for an experience. I think you can see where I'm going with that. So we covered there, the realms are very different to spirit. But when you are delivering messages, in some cases, what you've got to remember is you are going to be seeing a lot of traumatic things. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't actually realise when it comes to mediumship. For example, it takes a certain sort of person to want to work with spirit. Now, I don't mean that in a negative. I mean, I work with spirit, you know, so I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you need to be consciously aware of some of the images you will see. Spirit have to show you things so that you can be the director of the movie. It is your job to piece together the images, the sequences, the energy, to present it to an individual in front of you. So they will show you how they died. They will show you what they looked like. They will show you how they died in terms of what they used, what was used against them. There's many different ways. So this is something that not a lot of people... Sorry, everyone. I think the camera's just... There's not a lot of people that actually understand that. However, there is a little bit of a safety net that spirit will use. When you have given a reading, you don't retain any of the information from that reading. In terms of the imagery, the flash imagery, you know, maybe if somebody's taken their own life, how they would lie in, or all of these different things. There are safety nets in place, but it is something that people don't tell you. It's something that people fail to acknowledge. Definitely something that you should probably be, because if you're somebody who's very squirmish, the spirit world have different ways of helping you to get to the level that you need to be to, so don't worry about that. But if you are somebody who just does not want to see that sort of thing, then being a medium definitely wouldn't be, especially if you wanted to become an evidential medium and you are wanting to deliver information, it's definitely not going to be what you want to do. However, there are many different forms of being a medium. We have channeling, where you can just simply hand over to spirit, let spirit talk through you. That it's awesome. Yeah, I do it most of the time when I'm on camera, to be fair, but I just slip in and out of it. It's again, I don't protect. You should never protect from the spirit world or the realms. You have to protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. And believe you and me, this planet is saturated with them. And it's our job, my team's job, to try and put right some of the mess that has been left behind. Now, I know that was kind of a negative, so what I'm trying to do is trying to do a bit of a compliment sandwich. I'm trying to tell you something negative about spirit and something good about spirit. It's good when you are working alongside of the spirit world because every day is different. There is no two readings alike. There is no two circumstances alike. You are going to have a lot of readings where you are going to just be blown away. On the flip side of that, you are going to have lots of readings where you just don't even want to be in that room. You don't want to be the one who's having to tell the person that, look, they need to leave them or lots. See, what a lot of people don't realise is, and I've heard somebody saying this. I had somebody in one of my comment sections saying that they had been to a medium and the medium had said that they were going to die. And first of all, mediums don't tell you you're going to die, but I don't know who thought that was a good idea. That's not... Listen, the spirit world won't tell you if you're going to die. Why? Because then that spoils the latter part of your life. Listen, this is your life journey. The spirit world aren't there to hinder it. If you are going to die, fun fact, they aren't going to tell you you're going to die. They may tell you if you were falling sick, and they may tell you how you need to put the sickness right, because they want you to live as long as you can, so you can fulfill everything. So they're not going to come to you and know that you're going to be distraught and say, by the way, Jenny, you've got 2 days to live. That's not the way that it works. And this is something that happened to one of the viewers on the channel, and I was just absolutely blown away by it because it shows some of the shoddy practices that actually take place. And this is why it's good to highlight them on the channel. Because, yeah, you know, we might get backlash from it, but I couldn't care less. The energy that I work with doesn't suffer fools. We don't care at all. So be mindful. In readings, yes, they can take a little bit of a dark twist, but never to that extent. A reading is there to give you clarity, direction, and purpose. Telling somebody that they're going to die, but giving them no context to it, giving them nothing else, just saying you're going to die in a couple of days, is just absolutely atrocious. I mean, they should be ashamed of themselves because they're not a medium. And the spirit world would never tell you that at all. The spirit world will come through and tell you if you need to communicate with someone in terms of if they're going to be passing, if they are going to be leaving the planet soon, but they won't say they're going to die. They will say it's time to make amends, it's time to put things right. But that's very different than saying to somebody, you are going to die. That's absolutely shocking. No one should be saying that. And if you're going to be a medium, then please take that straight out of your vocabulary because you're not doing your job. That's not what the spirit world want you to say at all. Let the person live their life. Let the person go along their spiritual journey. That's it. The spirit world don't tell you these sorts of things. This is one thing that you are all going to learn very, very quick. The difference between your own thoughts and the spirit world. See, this is where a lot of people get very confused. A lot of people, especially when they are egotistically driven, they will believe that the spirit world's voice is their voice. Of course it is. But it's not. And a finely tuned medium or somebody who has a good understanding can look at somebody's work and say, it's funny when I watch. So for example, I come off more social media. I think the only platform I really enjoy using is YouTube because it's very professional. YouTube as a program, as a platform, they do look after their channel. You know, you don't get that many people spamming or anything like that. TikTok, Facebook, all of them. I mean, my accounts have been hacked multiple times and all sorts. Because the problem is what people don't realise is if you get a message and you respond to that message, then that's all it takes. So I can't just ignore people. That's why I only communicate with people now in the YouTube comments section. If you do have any comments, then get them in there. That's what these videos are for. But yeah, it's... I forgot what I was actually going on about there. What were we talking about there? Yeah, so I think what we're going to do, we're going to come over now to some of the flaws. I mean, I know that we're talking about egotistical people and obviously some of the things that they'll say and they'll do. But I think we'll come away from that now. I think you get the point of what I'm trying to say. I don't want to keep repeating myself or going over. These videos are unscripted, so you do have to forgive us, because I did start using teleprompters to try and keep us on track. But sometimes when I come in front of the camera like this, it's just me being me, raw, organic. Don't edit it. I don't crop anything out. It's just literally me talking and telling you about certain things. If you're wanting to become a medium, a lot of you are going to have experienced using clairaudience. It's not one of the most widely known, but it's certainly going to be something that a lot of you may have heard. Now, this is where you use your clairaudient abilities and you hear spirit voices. You may hear spirit telling you something. Got a funny story for this, actually. A lot of you will have a clairaudient experience and you will just write it off, because rightly so. We are conditioned in a society where we are told what is right, what is wrong, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, what we should believe and what we shouldn't believe. This is the problem. Children up until the age of 6 can clearly and freely communicate with the spirit world. I did myself. I've seen spirit, but I mean, even younger children, they can recollect past lives, etc., etc. And whilst the past lives that they're recollecting haven't come with them, it's because what happens is the soul, as soon as the child gets to an age where it is able to remember and keep things retained, the soul starts shutting things out. So as the child comes into the life and it's just going through the motions of gaga goo goo and all of these different things in hand paintings and whatever children do now, probably playing Call of Duty more likely. Once the child gets to a certain age, the soul says, right, now it's time for me to let you live your life. And the soul is with you from the very first breath you take, and it will be there to greet you and to take you to the spirit world the second you take your last breath. Whilst that's a scary prospect for most, it's the only thing that we are promised in this world. We will live and we will die. It's just that simple. But there's a lot of things that I could say on this, and what I don't want to do is to go over too many topics, because we've got specific videos on them. But clairaudience is going to be the most susceptible clair that you are going to be using on a daily basis, and you might not even realize it. You probably will hear it, and maybe you're in the shower, maybe you're going to bed, and just as you start to unwind, it's not always when you're starting to relax. When you start to relax and you start getting nice and comfortable, that's when clairaudience will kick in. Claircognizance, clairempathy, clairsentience, clairgustance, clairalliance. There's many different clairs. We've got many different videos on all of the different ones. Also, claircognizance is going to be a good one. That's a deep knownness. This is where you just already knew something was going to happen, and hey presto, guess what? It happened just like you thought. That is not a coincidence. You have used your psychic abilities of claircognizance. When we work with the spirit world, a lot of you are going to be wondering about clairvoyance. Clairvoyance, believe it or not, is probably the hardest clair for you to use. Whilst you probably assume it's going to be the easiest, the reason why it's the hardest is because the world that you live in, you've been conditioned to know that spirit. See, for myself, from a very young age, when I first seen spirit, it didn't matter how many people told us spirits weren't real. I knew they were real. It wasn't a case of are spirits there. It was a case of why are spirits there and how cool is that? What can I do to work alongside of them? For the majority of you, you may have been brought up in families or conditioned by religion, and you may be under the complete umbrella that there is no such thing as ghosts. So it is very difficult for you to see spirits when you have been so closed off to the idea and notion. And I'm not saying that because you accept and welcome spirits into your world that all of a sudden you're going to start seeing them. No. Or you are planting the seed and then all of a sudden that seed's going to blossom and then you're going to one day go and see them. I'm not saying that. Because when you see spirits, it is not your imagination, my friends. Put it that way. When you actually see spirits in person, you know straight away it's not your imagination. And there's going to be a lot of people who think it is, but they act intelligently. I've had spirits come to me. This, for example, so I was actually at work. In the building that I work at, I've seen 7 spirits alone in that building. But I had went into the building, and I was actually on the reception desk, and I looked up, and I thought I had seen a spirit dressed in old attire, very, very, very wealthy looking individual. But it was only a quick flash out my peripheral vision, and when I looked, I seen there was no spirit there. So I put my head back down. The next minute, the pen that was in the location where the spirit had been flew along the desk. It is as if to say, "You did see us. I'm here. I'm here." And that's the thing that you've got to realize. The spirit world will reveal themselves to you when the time is right. I use my ability of clairvoyance, and spirit will come to me, and they will show me when there is something that I need to know, or when there is something that I need to bring forward in terms of evidence. It's not like you just see them wandering around the streets all of the time. Well, yes, you could if they wanted you to. That's not the way that it works. But if you want to become a medium, then this is also something that you should be very aware of. You will start to work with the spirit world, and you may start to see spirits. If it's something that you're scared about, the spirit world will work with you. Just as when I say that. You don't need to protect from spirits. You have to protect from poor understands, bad teachings. What do you just want to talk about now? Remember, not everyone is your friend. There's going to be a lot of you who are coming into mediumship, and you have felt out of place, and you want to feel a comfort and a peace. And you find a little spiritual group or a little community, and you become part of that. Completely fine. But remember this, this is a personal journey for yourself. This is about you coming out of that shell that you have cocooned yourself in, becoming a stronger, more independent version of yourself. By working with the spirit world, you mirror each and every aspect about you as a person. Mankind will always have your best of interest at heart. This channel, you're more than welcome to come and ask any of the questions that you want. Anything that you need to know, we'll do videos on it. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything that you want to see. And when we get the chance, we'll stock all the videos up and we'll make the content around that. But yeah, mankind, a lot of the time, get it so diluted. Rather than working with our own teams and working with the spirit world in the comfort of our own homes, without even stepping out of our comfort of our own sanctuaries, we go looking for answers from other people. It's the other people that are the problem, not you. The fact that you are wanting to become a medium, or you are looking into becoming a medium, I know that you are, when the time is right, going to take the right steps that are right for you. This is a journey for yourself. It's not a journey of committee. It's not a joint union. This is your personal journey. It's meant to be special for you. So don't let anyone take that away. I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring that video to an end there. I think you can tell from all of the points about mediumship. There's lots of good points, lots of negative points that you've probably never heard before. And yeah, I think the last thing that we'll come to is dreams, actually. Spirit asking us to mention dreams. A lot of you who are wanting to become mediums will start to experience dreams a lot. And when I say dreams a lot, these dreams aren't going to seem your own. You will go from just having normal dreams of your mind putting things together and making things make sense as the brain does, as it's meant to do, to then just dreams are out of this world. You will be taken places. You will be given lessons. I remember when I first started going into my classrooms in spirit. That's what I call them, classrooms, because that's exactly what they were to me. I would be, so my phrase is, you should never protect from spirit, but you have to protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. I had to reiterate that at the front of a class on a podium in front of thousands of souls. Not like how we look, but they were just souls, just white. And I had to stand there and I had to repeat, and people would be arguing with it, saying, no, this is. And I'd be like, no, you have to protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. And this is part of what made me who I am in front of camera. because I got over the fear, I got over the stage fright, I got over all of these different things because I would be in classrooms. Also, loads of different mad things as well, but the good thing is it's all part of your personal journey. It's part of the parcel of becoming a medium. The spirit world will actively come to you in your dreams. Don't be alarmed by this. One thing I would say is when this does start to happen, remember to keep a dream journal. If you are somebody who hasn't got a very good memory like myself, then it's good to keep dream journals. Write down what you heard, what you remembered from the dream. A dreamer spirit world will never let you forget. That's one thing that is for true. And I think we're going to bring it to an end there because I've kept you for quite a bit of your time anyway. So I hope if you did enjoy this video, you will consider smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel. We've got many more different videos coming up. You will see from the channel, this is a new channel. We do have many of our YouTube platforms. Check out the link in the description box of this video. And until the next time, bye bye for now.